The automatic doors hissed open at 2:47 a.m. and I looked up from the nurse's station to see him stumble in, mid-30s, grey hoodie, blood steaming from a gash above his left eyebrow. "Car accident," he said, gripping the counter. His knuckles were white, bone white. "Riverside and Oak. I think I hit something." I led him to Bay 3. The fluorescent lights hummed, that sick yellow glow turning his skin the colour of old newspaper. I cleaned the wound, feeling torn skin under my gloved fingers, the warmth of blood steeping through the gaze. His pulse was steady, breathing normal, pupils reactive, but something felt wrong. Not medically wrong, something else. The air in Bay 3 felt too thick, like breathing through wet cloth. The clock on the wall ticked too loud, each second a hammer blow. "You're lucky," I said, tying off the third stitch. "It could have been much worse." He stared at me, really stared, not at my face, through it, like he was looking at something behind my eyes. "Yeah," he whispered, "lucky." He left at 3:16 a.m. I watched him walk through those doors, and the moment they closed, I felt like I could breathe again. I sat down at the nurse's station, logged the visit, sipped cold coffee that tasted like metal. At 3:34 a.m, the doors opened. Grey hoodie, gash above the left eyebrow, blood dripping in the exact same pattern. My coffee cup froze halfway to my lips. I stared at him walking towards me, and my brain couldn't process it. Same gait, same way he gripped the counter, same white knuckles. "Car accident," he said. "Riverside and Oak. I think I hit something." The words echoed in my skull. I heard them before, 18 minutes ago, but his face showed no recognition, no memory of being here. "Have you..." My voice sounded distant. "Have you been here tonight?" He blinked slowly, too slowly. "No, I just crashed, please." I took him to Bay 3. My hands moved on autopilot, cleaning, stitching, the needle-piercing skin that felt too cold under my fingers. The air got thicker, the clock ticked louder, and I realised he wasn't breathing. His chest wasn't moving, but his heart monitor showed a steady rhythm. 72 beats per minute, normal sinus rhythm. Everything normal except he wasn't breathing, and I could see it. I could see his chest completely still, but the monitor said he was fine, and I blinked. He was breathing, slow, steady breaths, had been the whole time. I tied off the last stitch with shaking hands. He left at 3:51 a.m. I pulled up the patient log, one entry, 2:47 a.m. No second visit logged. I stared at my own handwriting and it looked wrong. The letters seemed to shift when I wasn't looking directly at them. At 4:09 a.m, the doors opened again. This time, I was ready. This time, I was watching. Grey hoodie, gash, blood. "Stop," I said before he could speak. "You've been here twice already." He tilted his head, confused, concerned. I don't understand. I just crashed my car. Are you okay?" "The intersection," I said, "Riverside and Oak. What did you see there?" "Construction barriers, orange cones. I swerved and I hit a pole." He touched his forehead, fingers coming away red. "There's so much blood. Can you help me?" My throat tightened. There was no construction at Riverside and Oak. I drove past it every day, but I'd seen the notice. Roadwork scheduled to start Monday, 4 days from now. "What's today's date?" I asked. He told me. He was right. Friday, October the 18th. "What time is it?" He checked his phone. 4:09 a.m. Why are you asking me this?" I stitched him up the third time. The needle went in and out, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd done this before. Not just tonight, before tonight. Like I'd been stitching this same wound for weeks, months, years. The muscle memory was too perfect. I called the charge nurse, told her something was wrong, told her I needed to see the security footage. We watched it together. The timestamp showed 2:47 a.m, him walking in, then nothing. No, 3:34 a.m, arrival. No, 4:09 a.m, just me standing alone at the nurse's station, staring at empty space. On the footage, I led no one to bay 3. I stitched the air. "You've been on shift for 9 hours, she said gently. "Maybe you should go home early, get some rest." I wasn't tired. I was wide awake, hyper awake, and I knew he'd been here 3 times. I drove home in silence, past Riverside and Oak, no construction, just empty road and the grey light of dawn. I slept 4 hours, woke up to my phone ringing. My supervisor. "Did you hear about the accident?" My blood went cold. "What accident?" "Riverside and Oak, about an hour ago. A single vehicle hit a construction barrier." "But there's no construction there." Silence. Then, "They started this morning. Emergency road work, water main break, put up barriers at 6 a.m. "Who was the driver?" He told me. I didn't recognise the name. I asked her to send a photo from the news article. When it loaded, I dropped my phone. Grey hoodie, mid-30s, gash above his left eyebrow. But here's what makes my hand shake. The timestamp on the accident was 2:47 p.m. p.m, not a.m. 12 hours after he first walked into the ER. I called the hospital, asked them to pull the patient records from last night. The charge nurse sounded confused. "There's no records of anyone matching that description. Are you sure you're okay?" I went back that night, back to the ER, stood at the nurse's station and waited. At 2:47 a.m, the doors opened. Grey hoodie, gash, blood. "Car accident," he said. This time, I didn't move. I watched him stand at the counter, waiting for me to help him. I watched blood drip onto the floor in slow, thick drops. I watched him watch me. "You're not going to help me?" he asked. "I already did," I whispered, 3 times. His expression didn't change. "But I just crashed. Please, there's so much blood." I led him to bay 3, stitched him up. He left at 3:16 a.m. At 3:34 a.m, he came back. At 3:34 a.m, he came back. That was 4 months ago. He still comes in. Same time, same injury, same words. Sometimes 3 times a night, sometimes just once. Sometimes I check the patient log and it's there, sometimes it isn't. The other nurses don't see him, the cameras don't see him, but I do. I tried switching to day shift, requested a transfer, but on my last night shift, he looked at me different, really looked at me, and he said something new. "You have helped me. If you stop, I can't leave. Please don't stop." So I stayed. I still work night shifts. I still stitch him. I don't know if he's real. I don't know if I'm losing my mind. I don't know if he died in that accident or if I'm somehow keeping him alive or if... The worst part isn't the uncertainty. The worst part is that sometimes when I'm stitching him, I catch my reflection in the metal tray and I have a gash above my left eyebrow. It's healed, scarred over, but it's there and I don't remember getting it. And sometimes I wonder if I'm the one who keeps coming back. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the ghost. Last week, a new nurse started, young kid, first night shift. He looked at me funny all night. Finally, just before dawn, he pulled me aside. "Hey, this is going to sound weird, but Did you get hurt tonight? You keep touching your forehead and there's blood on your fingers." I looked down. My gloves were clean. "I don't see any blood," I said. He stared at me. "It's everywhere. You're covered in it." I went to the bathroom, looked in the mirror. Nothing. Just my face. Tired, pale, normal. But I can feel it now. Wet, warm, dripping down my temple. The doors just opened. 2:47 a.m. I know who's walking through them. I always know. The payphone rang at 3:17 a.m. and I dropped the dish rag. No one had used that payphone in years. It was a relic bolted to the wall near the bathrooms, the kind of thing that stayed because it cost more to remove than ignore. The cord was frayed, half the buttons stuck. It rang again. My only customer, an elderly man at the counter, newspaper and coffee, didn't look up, just kept eating eggs, fork scraping against plate in a slow, methodical rhythm. I walked over, stared at the phone. It rang a third time, and my hand moved on its own, lifting the receiver. "Hello?" Static. Then a woman's voice, distant and hollow like speaking through water. "Is it still there?" "Who?" "The man at the counter. Is he still there?" I looked at the old man. He was wiping egg yolk with toast, completely oblivious. "Yes." "Don't let him leave." The line went dead. I held the receiver, listening to the dial tone buzz in my ear. Hung up slowly, walked back to the counter and refilled the man's coffee with shaking hands. "Everything all right?" he asked. Kind eyes, weathered face. "Fine, just, fine." He finished eating at 3:34 a.m. and reached for his wallet. "Wait," I said. The word came out too fast, too desperate. "Do you want dessert? Pie? On the house?" He smiled. "That's sweet, honey, but I should get going. Long drive ahead." The woman's voice echoed. "Don't let him leave." "Actually, our card machine is down. Let me check. It might take a few minutes to fix." He settled back onto the stool, patient. I went to the back, counted to 60, came back out. He was still there, still patient, still alive. The payphone rang. My stomach dropped. I stared at it, ringing and ringing. The old man glanced over but said nothing. I forced myself to walk over, pick up. "Hello?" The same woman's voice, but urgent now, panicked. "He's not supposed to leave yet. Keep him there, please." "Who is this? What's going on?" "You're saving his life. You don't understand. Keep him there just a little longer." "Why? What happens if he leaves?" "Check the phone." Her voice cracked. "Check the line." "What?" "The phone you're holding. Check it." I looked down at the receiver, followed the cord. It dangled to the metal phone box, then nothing. The cord ended in frayed copper wire, twisted and exposed, not connected, not possible. But I could hear her breathing. "Do you understand now?" she whispered. I dropped the phone. It swung on the dead cord, pendulum slow. I backed away, pulse hammering in my ears. The old man was watching me now. "Miss, you don't look well." I'm fine." I gripped the counter. Every second felt like drowning. The clock ticked towards 4 a.m. The fluorescent light buzzed. The old man waited. At 4:02 a.m, he stood. "I really should get going." I couldn't think of another excuse. He left a $20 bill, waved goodbye and pushed through the glass door. I watched him cross the parking lot towards his car. He made it 3 steps before the semi-truck came screaming around the corner. I don't remember screaming. I remember the sound, metal squeaking, brakes failing, the truck jackknifing. It stopped 3 feet from where he stood frozen. He didn't move, just stood there, hand on his chest, staring at the truck. The driver jumped out, hysterical, brake failure. Police came, ambulance. The old man was fine, shaken and alive. When they finally left, I stood alone in the diner. Dawn was breaking. I walked to the payphone, lifted the receiver. No dial tone, just the hollow sound of a dead line. I hung up, started closing tasks, tried to tell myself it was a coincidence, tried to rationalize what I heard. The next week, the phone rang at 3:17 a.m. I picked up. Different voice, male, young, terrified. Is she still there? Who? The woman at booth 4. Is she still there? I looked. Young woman, laptop open, headphones in, been there since 2 a.m. Yes. Don't let her leave, please. Not yet. You don't understand what you're saving her from. What am I saving her from? I don't know. He whispered. I just know if she leaves now, she doesn't make it home. Please. I kept her there, refilled her coffee, cleaned around her. At 4:03 a.m, her phone buzzed. Flood warning. Her apartment building was evacuating. First floor underwater. If she'd gone home, if I hadn't have kept her. She sat there, shaking, making calls, safe and alive. I looked at the payphone, disconnected cord dangling, but the receiver was warm. That was 3 months ago. The phone rings every week now, different voices, different warnings. Sometimes I save them, sometimes I don't know if I'm saving them or delaying something worse. Last week, a voice said, "Don't let the man in the blue jacket sit at the counter." I steered him to the booth instead. He left fine, normal. Next day I saw the news, armed robbery at a diner 20 minutes away, 4 a.m, suspect in blue jacket, 3 dead. Did I save lives, or did I just redirect them? The phone rang again yesterday, 3:17 a.m. I picked up. Is anyone there? A child's voice, maybe 8 years old. Just me. You need to leave, right now. Don't ask why, just leave. Sweetheart, leave, please, before he comes. Before who comes? The man, he's going to hurt you. He's parking right now. Blue truck, baseball cap, he has a gun. He's coming for the money. He's going to hurt you. Please leave. I looked out the window. No blue truck. Empty parking lot. Just my car and the neon sign flickering. There's no one here. Not yet. But if he comes, I know because I'm calling from your phone. From later. From after. Please believe me. My phone. My cell phone was charging behind the counter. I looked at it. Screen dark. Normal. How are you calling from my phone? I don't know, but I am, and you need to leave right now. I can hear the sirens. I can hear you screaming. Please don't let it happen. Blue headlights swept across the window. Blue truck pulling into the lot. Baseball cap visible through the windshield. I dropped the payphone receiver, ran to the back door, didn't grab my purse, didn't clock out. I just ran. I hid in the dumpster enclosure, heart hammering, and watched through the gap. The man went inside, came out 5 minutes later, angry, empty-handed, and drove away. Police found him 2 days later, armed robbery suspect, 5 diners, 2 dead. The diner phone, my cell phone, had a voicemail. I never saw the notification, but it was there. Timestamp 2:57 a.m, 20 minutes before the payphone rang. A child's voice, please leave, before he comes. But I was at the diner when that voicemail was left. I checked the phone records. The call came from my own number. I called myself, but I never made that call. I still work there, still answer the payphone when it rings, But last night was different. Last night it rang at 3:17 a.m. and I picked up. Silence. No static. No voice. Just breathing. Slow and wet. Then my own voice. Hang up the phone. What? Hang up. Don't listen to the others. They're not trying to save anyone. They're feeding. Feeding on what? On the moments, the choices. Every time you change something, every time you save someone, it gets stronger. Can't you feel it? The diner feels wrong now, doesn't it? I looked around. The lights seemed dimmer. The booth looked too deep. Shadows pulling in corners that shouldn't exist. The old man's coffee cup was still on the counter, but he left 3 months ago, hadn't he? What are you? I whispered. My voice on the line laughed. I'm you. 3 hours from now, and I'm calling to tell you it's already too late. You should have never answered the first time. Too late for what? Turn around. I turned slowly. Every booth was full. The elderly man, the woman with the laptop, the man in the blue jacket, all people I had saved, all sitting there, staring at me, not moving, not breathing. In the window's reflection, I could see myself at the counter, but I was at the payphone. I was in 2 places. I looked down at my hand holding the receiver. My hand looked wrong, too pale, fingers too long. You've been here for 3 months, my voice said on the line. You never left after the first call. Everything since then have been the moments playing back. We're all stuck in here. Everyone the phone saves stays. The receiver felt too warm, wet, like flesh. Hang up, my voice begged. Hang up and maybe you can still leave. I tried. My hand wouldn't move. I couldn't either, my voice whispered. Neither could any of them. You see, in 3 hours, I'll be making the call. The line went dead. The people in the booths hadn't moved. They're still staring. The old man's eggs are still warm. The woman's laptop still glows. The payphone is ringing again. It's been ringing for 3 months. I don't remember the last time I saw daylight. The people in the booths haven't moved. They're still staring. The old man's eggs are still warm. The woman's laptop still glows. The payphone is ringing again. It's been ringing for 3 months. I don't remember the last time I saw daylight, and I don't know if I ever will. The bathroom mirror on the 7th floor showed my reflection, but something was wrong with my hands. I held them up, normal, 5 fingers each, clean nails, but in the reflection, my right hand had 6 fingers. The extra one moved when I moved, perfectly synchronized, like it had always been there. I blinked, 5 fingers in the mirror, normal. I must have imagined it. I sprayed the glass, wiped in slow circles, and kept cleaning. 2:43 a.m, 3 more floors, then I could take lunch. The building was silent except the hum of the ventilation and the squeak of my cart wheels. When I moved to the next sink, I saw him, standing behind me in the reflection. Dark blue maintenance uniform, pale face, close enough to touch. I spun around, empty bathroom, just me and a drip of a leaky faucet. Turned back to the mirror, just my reflection now, alone, tired, normal. But the reflection eyes looked wrong, too wide, like they'd seen something I hadn't. I left quickly, cart rattling down the hallway. The fluorescent lights flickered as I passed, each one going dark for just a second, like they were blinking. 5th floor, 4th floor. The elevator dinged and I pulled my cart inside. The door started to close. In the reflective metal, I saw him step in behind me. I pressed myself against the back wall, heart hammering. The real elevator was empty, but in the warped reflection of the doors, he stood 3 feet away, facing me, watching. His uniform was soaking wet, water dripped from his sleeves, his hair pooling around his feet, but the elevator door was bone dry. I stared at the reflection. He stared back. His mouth moved, forming words I couldn't hear. The elevator descended, 5th floor, 4th, 3rd. His reflection grew clearer with each floor. I could see details now, name tag that read Petrov, wedding ring, a scar above his left eye. He raised his hand slowly, pressed it against the reflection, palm flat against the metal door. I looked at the real door. Nothing. No handprint, no water, just polished metal. Ground floor. Ground floor. Doors open. I ran. The security guard looked up as I stumbled to his desk. "You okay?" "There's someone in the building, in the elevator. I saw..." "Saw what?" "A man, maintenance uniform, soaking wet. He's..." The guard exchanged a look with his partner. Something passed between them. Recognition. Fear. "Dark blue uniform, name tag says Petrov." I nodded. He sat down his coffee slowly. "That's the 3rd time this month. 3rd time." "Marcus Petrov, maintenance, worked here 5 years ago, died in the basement flood, electrical fire. They found him standing in water, still trying to shut off the main valve." He rubbed his face. "People keep seeing him, always in reflections, never in person." My mouth went dry. "That's not possible." "Yeah, that's what the other janitors said too, before they quit." I wanted to quit right there, walk out, never come back, but something stopped me. A feeling, like he wasn't trying to scare me, like he was trying to show me something. "I'll finish my shift," I heard myself say. The guard shook his head. "Your funeral?" I went back upstairs, avoided mirrors for 2 hours, but when I reached the 3rd floor break room at 4:30 AM, I couldn't avoid the window. Dark glass, overlooking the parking lot, and in the reflection, Marcus, standing beside me, pointing. His arm extended, finger aimed down, at the floor, urgent, desperate. His mouth moved. "Look, look, look." I knelt. The tile floor looked normal, old, scuffed, nothing special. But one piece seemed different, slightly raised, gout cracked around the edges. I used my putty knife to pry it open. Underneath, a folded piece of paper, yellowed with age and water damage. I unfolded it carefully. Maintenance report, dated 5 years ago. Markov Petrov's handwriting. It read, "Repeated electrical violations in basement. Reported to management 3 times. No action taken. Water damage compromising circuit room. Urgent. Repair before someone dies." It was stamped in red ink. Ignored. I looked up at the window. Marcus was still there in the reflection, but different now. His face had softened, relieved. He nodded once, slowly. Then he started to fade. "Wait," I said. "Is that it? Is that what you wanted me to find?" But he kept fading, dissolving like smoke until the window showed only darkness and my own reflection. I took the report to the building management the next day. They reopened Marcus's case. His family finally got answers, got closure. The electrical violations were real. Management had buried the complaints to avoid costs. Justice. Finally. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. 2 weeks later, I was cleaning the 4th floor bathroom. Same routine, spray, wipe. The mirror showed my reflection clearly. Normal. Then my reflection smiled. I wasn't smiling. I watched my reflection's mouth stretch wider, wider, until it was too wide, inhuman. Its eyes never blinked, never looked away. I backed towards the door. My reflection stayed at the sink, didn't move with me. It raised one hand, waved. Not goodbye, hello. I ran. The next night, I saw her, a woman in a business suit, soaking wet, standing in my reflection in the elevator, same way Marcus had appeared. She was pointing too, down, always down. I found what she was pointing at, another hidden report, different floor, different depth, covered up, buried. Then someone else appeared, a man in a security uniform, pointing, then a woman in a cleaning smock, pointing. They're all here, all the people who died in this building, all the deaths that were hidden, explained away, buried under paperwork and liability concerns, and they're all pointing down. Last night, I followed where they pointed, down to the basement, down past the maintenance room, down to a section I'd never seen before, old storage, walls sweating moisture, the smell of rotten standing water. I found the door they wanted me to find, locked, chained, a sign, condemned, do not enter. I looked at the small window in the door, too dark to see inside. I shined my flashlight through. Bodies, stacked against the far wall, wrapped in plastic, some old, some recent. I ran, called the police from my car. They're investigating now. 15 bodies so far. Missing persons, homeless, people no one looked for. But here's what keeps me awake. When I looked through that window, when I saw the bodies, I looked at my reflection in the glass, and I wasn't alone. Every dead person was standing behind me in the reflection, dozens of them, crowding the hallway, all pointing past me, through the door, at the bodies. But when I turned around, the real hallway was empty. I quit, obviously, but it doesn't matter, because this morning, I looked in my bathroom mirror at home, and they were all still there, standing behind me, watching. The woman in the business suit, the security guard, Marcus, all of them. And the new ones I don't recognize, ones who aren't pointing down anymore, they're pointing at me. Last night, I looked in my car's rearview mirror, saw myself in the back seat, not a reflection, another me, sitting there, staring forward. Her clothes were soaking wet. I'm not wet, my clothes are dry, but in every reflection, I see her, the wet version of me, and she's always a little closer than she should be. This morning, I avoided mirrors completely, but I saw her in my phone screen when it went dark, in my coffee cup, in the window of the subway. She's not behind me anymore. She's in front of me, blocking my path in every reflection. Her hand is raised, pressing against the glass from the other side, and I'm starting to think she's not trying to get out. I think she's trying to pull me in. Last night, I couldn't sleep. I walked to the bathroom at 3 a.m, exhausted, and I looked in the mirror without thinking. She was there, the wet me, staring back, but this time, our positions were reversed. She was standing in my bathroom, dry, alive, real. I was in the mirror, soaking wet, trapped. I pressed my hand against the glass. She pressed back. Our palms touched through the reflection. Then she smiled and turned away and walked out of the bathroom. I'm still here, in the mirror, watching her live my life. She goes to work, she talks to my friends, she sleeps in my bed. No one notices the difference. And sometimes, late at night, she comes back, stands in front of the mirror and looks at me. Your turn, she whispers. I don't know how long I've been here. Days, weeks, time feels wrong in the glass. But I can see other people now. Marcus, the woman in the suit, and all the others. We're all here together, all trapped in the reflections, and we're all pointing at the living versions of ourselves, walking around in our bodies, at the things wearing our faces. If you see someone pointing at you in a mirror and you're not pointing back, run, because you're looking at the real you and something else is living your life. Monitor 7 showed him standing in the 4th floor hallway at 1:34 a.m, dark coat, hands in pocket, facing the camera. He didn't move, didn't sway, just stood there like he was waiting for something. I grabbed my flashlight and headed up. The stairwell echoed with my footsteps. each one sounding twice, once when my foot hit, once a second later, like an echo that came too slow. 4th floor was empty. I walked the entire hallway, swept my light into every corner, checked every office door, all locked. I stood exactly where he'd been on the monitor and looked up at the camera. Its red light blinked steadily. Back at my desk, I rewound the footage. There he was, appearing at 1:32 a.m, standing still for 2 minutes, then gone at 1:35 a.m. But I'd been watching Monitor 7 live when I saw him. I'd gone upstairs immediately. I should have been in frame, should have seen myself walking that hallway. I wasn't there. 20 minutes later, Monitor 12, 6th floor, same figure, same dark coat, this time standing directly under a light fixture, face tilted up. I zoomed in. The resolution went grainy, but I could make out features, sharp jaw, hollow cheeks, something familiar. I didn't go upstairs this time, just watched. He stood there for 3 minutes. At 2:08 a.m, he looked directly at the camera, at me, then he was gone. I called my supervisor. I got voicemail, left a message about a possible intruder, possible system glitch. My voice sounded strange on the recording, too high, too fast. At 2:31 a.m, I noticed something. Monitor 4 showed the 3rd floor lobby, empty, but in the top right corner, time stamped 4:47 a.m. I stared at it, checked my watch. 2:31 a.m. The camera was showing me something 2 hours and 16 minutes in the future. My mouth went dry. I cycled through the other monitors. Most showed correct timestamps, but monitors 4, 7 and 12, the ones where I'd seen him, were all showing future times. Monitor 4, 4:47 a.m, empty lobby. Monitor 7, 4:51 a.m, empty hallway. Monitor 12, 4:53 a.m, empty 6th floor. Then monitor 1 flickered, the camera watching my desk from above. Timestamp 4:52 a.m, and I was in it. Slumped forward over the keyboard, head down, coffee cup tipped over, dark liquid spreading across papers, dripping onto the floor in a puddle that looked too dark to be coffee. My arm hung at a wrong angle, not sleeping wrong, broken wrong. I stood up so fast my chair hit the wall, looked up at the camera above me. Its red light blinked, innocent, steady. Looked back at the monitor. Future me hadn't moved, still slumped, still wrong. I checked the timestamp, 4:52 a.m, 2 hours and 21 minutes from now. Could I stop it? If I left right now, walked out, got into my car? Monitor 1 changed. New timestamp, 4:53 a.m. The figure in dark coat was standing behind my chair, leaning close to my head, not touching, just hovering there. His face was close enough to kiss my temple, and I could see his features now. It was me, 10 years older, 15 maybe, hairs grey at the temples, lines around the eyes, same face, same bone structure, but wrong, all wrong, like someone had put my face on wrong, stretched it too tight over my skull. I couldn't breathe. The office felt too small, walls pressing in. I looked at my watch, 2:34 a.m, looked at monitor 1, 4:53 a.m. Future me slumped, older me standing behind the chair. Then older me looked up, at the camera, at present me watching through the feed. He smiled. I grabbed my keys. I'd leave, change the future, break whatever this was. I stood, turned towards the door and saw him, standing in the doorway. Older me, dark coat, that wrong smile. "You can't leave," he said. His voice sounded like mine but deeper, scraped raw. "I didn't." "You're not real." My voice came out broken. "You're not." I sat right there. He pointed at my chair, watched the monitors, saw myself slumped over, tried to leave, saw myself in the doorway, had this exact conversation. No, I can. You can't change it. I know because I tried. I'm still trying. He stepped closer. Do you know what the worst part is? I backed away, hit the desk, trapped. The worst part is I don't remember what happened at 4:52 a.m. I just woke up at 7 a.m. with my supervisor shaking me. They said I'd been asleep, but I don't remember falling asleep. I don't remember those 2 hours. They're just gone. Get away from me! Where do you think those hours went? He tilted his head. Where do you think I went? The lights flickered. When they came back, he was gone. I stood alone in the office, heart hammering. I checked the doorway, empty. Checked monitor 1, still showing 4:52 a.m, still showing me slumped. I looked at my watch, 2:39 a.m. 2 hours and 13 minutes until whatever happens. I tried to stay awake, made fresh coffee, scalding hot, walked the building, splashed water on my face, but exhaustion crept in like fog. My eyes grew heavy, my head nodded. At 4:30 a.m, I couldn't fight it anymore. I sat at my desk just for a minute, just to rest my eyes. When I opened them, my supervisor was shaking my shoulder. Daylight streamed through the windows. You were really out, he said. You okay? You look like hell. I checked my watch, 7:03 a.m. What time did you get here? I asked. About 10 minutes ago. You've been asleep this whole time. I looked at the monitors, all showing correct timestamps, all normal. I checked the recordings, nothing unusual, just me sitting at the desk, head dropping forward at 4:47 a.m, sleeping until 7:03 a.m. But my coffee cup was tipped over, dark liquid dried on the papers, not coffee. I lifted my arm, it ached, deep bone ache like something had been wrong with it. I need to go home, I said. I still work here, still do overnight security, and sometimes, late at night, I see him on my monitors, older me, watching from the hallways, standing in empty rooms. I don't go to investigate anymore. Last week, I noticed something new. On monitor 7, timestamp 1:34 a.m, I saw a figure in a dark coat. Face to the camera, I looked closer at the features. It was me, current me, not older, present day, but I was sitting at my desk. I wasn't on the 4th floor. I checked the live feed and the recording. Both showed the same thing, me standing in the hallway, facing the camera, but I never left the desk. Yesterday, I saw myself on 3 different monitors, different floors, all at the same time, all just standing there, watching the cameras. I don't know which one is real anymore. This morning, I looked in the bathroom mirror before my shift. My reflection didn't move when I did. It just stood there, staring. Then it smiled that wrong smile. See you tonight, it said. I didn't say anything. Tonight, I'm watching the monitors. It's 2:31 a.m. Monitor 1 shows me at my desk, watching. But I can feel someone standing behind my chair. I can feel breath on the back of my neck. I'm not going to turn around. I already know what I'll see.